Children, good morning. Today we would be starting respiration. We finished with digestion in the last class. Talking about respiration, respiration is the process in which glucose that is obtained through nutrition is broken down to obtain energy. Okay. Now, talking about the process, how does that take place? Glucose is a 6 carbon molecule in the cytoplasm, in the cell's cytoplasm. This glucose is converted into pyruvate and energy. Pyruvate is a 3 carbon molecule. So this glucose is broken down into a pyruvate, which is a 3 carbon molecule. Okay, now depending upon the presence or absence of oxygen, and depending upon the place where the further reaction is taking place, the reaction moves on differently. Say for example, in yeast, this pyruvate in absence of oxygen is converted into ethanol, which is a 2 carbon molecule. Okay, so this yeast in yeast, pyruvate is converted into ethanol. Along with ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy is also produced. Okay, now in muscles, in mammalian muscles, whenever there is absence of oxygen. Now let me tell you, before going further, let me tell you that muscles generally works in presence of oxygen, but whenever a rigorous physical activity has been taken place and there is lack of oxygen, in that case lactic acid is produced. So in muscles, in absence of oxygen, lactic acid is produced from pyruvate along with carbon dioxide and energy. Now this condition where absence of oxygen arises, it happens in the situation where, say for example, if you are running very fast up to a certain amount of time, you will breathe normally. Okay, after a point you would start breathing at a very high rate. The reason is because that your cells are not getting enough oxygen, because all the oxygen is used up. In that case, this muscles will produce lactic acid, and the pain or the soreness of muscles that you have after running for a very long time or doing a very rigorous physical activity is because accumulation of lactic acid takes place in the muscles, which leads to that pain. Okay, now talking about mitochondria. Now mitochondria, as you all know, it is a powerhouse of the cell and it produces energy. This pyruvate in mitochondria, in presence of oxygen, it is converted into carbon dioxide, H2O, and energy. Now as you can see here, all these three situations, pyruvate, which is a 3 carbon molecule, is either converted into a 2 carbon molecule, lactic acid, which is a 3 carbon molecule. But if you see here, the carbon containing compound is only carbon dioxide. So glucose has completely broken down into carbon dioxide only in the presence of oxygen. So only here complete utilization of glucose has taken place, whereas here and here complete utilization of carbon molecule has not taken place. That means 6 carbon molecule is not completely broken down into a single carbon molecule. Okay, now here when I say energy is produced, now at the end, if you see all three situations, there are two things which are produced in common: carbon dioxide and energy. Okay, so all three situations, carbon dioxide, energy is produced. This energy is converted into ATP, which means adenosine triphosphate, which is an energy currency of the cell. Talking about respiration, as we discussed earlier, it is of two types: aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration means it uses oxygen, and anaerobic respiration means it happens in absence of oxygen, say for example in yeast and muscles. Okay, now talking about this condition where an oxygen molecule is required, different organisms use different ways to absorb oxygen from atmosphere. Say for example, plants Plants get the atmospheric oxygen from through stomata, sorry. Aquatic organisms do gaseous exchange through gills. They get the dissolved oxygen through gills, and terrestrial organisms breathe in oxygen. Okay, so basically what do they have is they have a mechanism through which they can inhale those gases that is present in the atmosphere, and they can exhale the gas that is produced in their body. Other than that, there are various other ways of gaseous exchange, but these three are the main and the commonly used ways by living organisms. Now the next topic is human respiratory system. This is the diagram of human respiratory system. This is the nasal passage, okay, just after the nose, which flows through pharynx. After that, larynx, which is voice box. Then there is a long tube known as trachea. This trachea is covered by rings, which are known as rings of cartilage. This trachea is divided into two parts. Trachea is extended into a structure known as bronchus. This bronchus is divided into two, which are known as bronchi, left and right bronchi. This left and right bronchi extends into left and right lung respectively. This bronchi is further divided and redivided into smaller branches known as bronchioles. At the end of bronchioles, you would see this sac-like structure, which is known as alveolar sac. Each alveolar sac has this balloon-like structure, which is known as alveoli. Okay, now this whole structure is present within lungs. Okay, similarly, this thing is also on this side, but I have not drawn this side into very much detail. So this is lungs, and below lungs there is a membrane which is known as diaphragm, which helps in breathing or exchange of gases. Talking about few of the parts of respiratory system, there is nose that helps in breathing. Nose has two nostrils. Each nostril's hair has hair lining in order to trap any external foreign particle that comes inside while breathing. The lining of nose also produces mucus, which again traps any foreign particle and expels it out of the nasal cavity. The next is larynx, which is also known as voice box. Next is rings of cartilage. Rings of cartilage basically is made up of cartilaginous tissue, and it prevents the collapse of air. So basically it makes sure that there is constant flow of air throughout the whole system. Next is alveolar sac. As I told you earlier, it is group of alveoli. Now talking about the main thing, alveoli. Alveoli is a balloon-like structure, and this alveoli is something like this. This is a single alveoli. Okay. It is made up of single layer of cell. This is a single cell, all right. It is made up of single layer of cell, and just after this alveoli there are multiples of blood capillaries that is flowing like this. Okay, so balloon like structure, it is rich in blood vessels, and it has large surface area. This is the surface area. Okay, this surface area or this structure is a site of exchange of respiratory gases. Okay, now that means oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged at this point. Okay, so when you breathe, what happens is the air that you're breathing in will get through these pipes. It will divide and redivide and will reach this structure alveoli. Okay, after reaching alveoli, what will happen is through this alveolar wall, oxygen is passed from the alveoli to the blood capillaries that are just lying around the alveoli. So oxygen will pass from the alveoli to blood capillaries, and this blood capillaries will be having RBC. This red blood corpuscles have a pigment known as hemoglobin, which will carry oxygen and will transport it throughout the body. Okay, now talking about carbon dioxide. Now carbon dioxide is produced throughout the body by multiple cells. Okay, so this blood capillaries will be carrying carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide is very much easily soluble in water, so carbon dioxide would be there inside the plasma of the blood. Okay, so carbon dioxide from this blood capillaries is passed into the alveoli, and from the alveoli it will go back to the bronchus. It will just go out and it is expelled out through exhalation. Okay, so this is how transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide will take place. So this is important: alveoli, the whole process, and how carbon dioxide and oxygen is being transported through the alveoli. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you.